Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mark, and in this video I wanted to discuss the phenomenon of wanting to declutter. For those of us that are going through a spiritual awakening or the ascension process, you may find that you are in a frequency of wanting to declutter. Well, I'm going to explain to you what that is, why it's happening from an energetic standpoint, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would really appreciate it. So, decluttering. Why do we want to declutter when we go through an awakening? We spend our whole lives accumulating, right? We want to build a great life. We want to have material things, be it a nice house, money, cars, motorcycles, boats, whatever it may be. We want to have stuff, right? We're taught this from early on. In fact, a lot of people measure the success of a person by the amount of things that they have. Well, why is it then when we go through a spiritual or have a spiritual awakening and we're going through the ascension process, do we suddenly flip the switch on that and go in the other direction and feel the need to declutter? Well, it all has to do with energy. When we are having energy come in, our soul's energy is constantly flowing through us. That's our breath. But when we're not focused on it and we're not consciously moving this energy through us, we are focused more on our external reality, what our five senses can perceive. And that slows our energy flow down. Okay, so instead of grounding our high vibrational energy and integrating this energy, we're living off basically tightening the straw. We're tightening the straw, so to speak. So the energy is now flowing at a much slower rate, and it's dense, and it's focused externally. So what happens is, as this energy comes down, it drops in frequency, and because we're focused externally, the energy continues to drop and gets stuck in the body. And we have to manifest this out somehow. So we could, if the energy stops flowing entirely, we could get sick. We have illness. The body starts to break down. We age. These kind of things. When we're really, really identified with this dense energy, that's the worst of what could happen in that situation. Well, a lot of times, instead of allowing this energy to just stop flowing and the body to break down, we have to give it an outlet. Okay, and it comes out and manifests in stuff. So because we're so focused externally, what we do is we start to create outlets, because we're creator beings, right? But we're creator beings operating from a lower frequency. And anytime we're operating from the ego and the mind, we're creating according to that low frequency. So we manifest density, we manifest dense stuff, and we start to accumulate things around us. Okay, and this is a result of conditioning and programming from an early age. We want to measure our success based on things, stuff, money, whatever it may be. So that's what we're focused on manifesting, and we're manifesting from a low frequency. So we are creating things that are a constant reminder of that matching energetic frequency. Now, let me explain that a little further. You may think, well, I've got 5 cars. That's fantastic. I'm doing well. That's a good thing, right? I'm successful. We want abundance. Well, what happens is we manifest these things. We work really hard according to our program. We manifest this energy, and we end up with 5 cars, if you want to use that as an example, or this big house that is really expensive to maintain, and it just kind of stops there. Okay, so now we've got these things, right? But the energy stops flowing, and what happens? The mind starts to look for other things it can manifest in alignment with that frequency, in alignment with that programming, being more stuff equals more success, more happiness, whatever it may be. So we're trying to create happiness based on the frequency of the ego. And that's why this stuff manifests. So this energy that is being grounded, because our soul is saying to us, we want to align with purpose, and we want abundance. We want to create unlimited abundance, which could be in the form of money, happiness, relationships, many different things. The ego ties success to money. So we continue to try to ground our soul's energy, but the ego kind of hijacks that thought and says, okay, we need to create more stuff. So we end up working harder so that we could create more stuff. We end up buying more stuff, and we have a greater representation in our 3D reality of this dense energy that really isn't moving through us. Okay? So this is a manifestation of blockages, energetic blockages, densities within the body, all revolving around programming. Okay? So what happens is when we have an awakening, we wake up and we say, you know what? I'm going to get my energy flowing in the proper direction. I want to get high vibrational energy grounded and flowing. Instead of flowing out through the filter of the mind and being stepped down in frequency, I want to be in alignment with my soul, and I want to open the floodgates. I want to ground this energy, and I want to operate from that perspective and create abundance according to the frequency of my soul. And abundance in that situation is living your purpose and happiness and joyfulness and love and these types of things. Okay, so when we switch that and we realize that, we start to look around us and we see all this stuff. And we start to realize that all this stuff that we see in our reality actually is a distraction and takes our focus away from aligning with our soul's energy. So the more we end up seeing this stuff, the more our soul screams to us, this stuff is not the direction we want to be going in. Come back this way. And we feel this and we know this. Okay, that's why before an awakening, you'll want to accumulate more stuff, because from the perspective of the ego, the stuff means success. But once you awaken and you're starting to align with your soul's energy, from the perspective of the ego, the stuff represents dense energy blockages. And because we have all this stuff that we've accumulated, it is a physical representation of the stuck energy, the blockages within our body. So when we start to realize this and we start to ground higher vibrational energy and be aware of it and start to align with it and tune into it, we start to manifest from that perspective. And we start now to have a drive to go off in a different direction and to create, okay, and create true abundance, right? And as we see these things around us, we recognize that that is a representation of what needs to be healed. So how do we heal that? We start to want to declutter it. We want to release attachments from the things. So as we release these attachments from the stuff and we sell it, in how it represents and manifests out in our physical world is that we have more space. So if I had a house full of stuff and the stuff now is gone, I have space. I feel space. Okay, so the stuck energy that was represented in these things is gone. I've created space. And now I don't have these remembrances, these reminders to pull my vibration down into a lower frequency. They're gone. I've decluttered. I've removed them. And now I have more space to truly ground what my purpose is here in this life. And it gives me the ability to focus in on it without the distraction of the dense energy. Because again, all the stuff we've accumulated, once we awaken and we switch from ego, stuff equals success, to soul, purpose equals fulfillment. You know, once we shift there, we start to see the stuff then as something that is hindering our energy flow, densities, blockages, a representation of these areas in the body. So if you've awakened, you know, you may not have come to that yet, because a lot of people will jump on in that they're going to use the law of attraction and try to manifest more monetary, more stuff, bigger houses, cars, boats, whatever it may be, which is, again, we're operating from the ego. And eventually I think what happens with most people, is happening with me, is that I move off into a different direction. I want to start to get rid of some of this stuff because I need more space to further align with and be able to move and ground more of my soul's energy so that I can manifest what's in alignment with my purpose. Because remember, stuff is not a measurement of alignment with purpose. Fulfillment and the frequency of fulfillment and the frequency of true abundance in energy and in love is really what we're looking for. And from there, when we operate from that perspective, and we could be the creators that we are from that frequency, we will be able to attract everything we need to support that. So the decluttering is one of the first steps that starts to move us into that direction. So the more you're going to find that the more you try to move off into purpose and align with that, the more you're going to get annoyed with the stuff. That's just how it works, because you're moving further away from that frequency. And that frequency, the stuff represents the old patterns. Okay, so you're no longer going to resonate with that. Is it okay if you want a nice car? Absolutely. Is it okay if you want to live in a nice house? Definitely. No problem. If that's what you want, that's what makes you feel good, perfect. But you're going to start to realize that the house isn't the ends, the end game there. Because what would have happened in the past is you'd buy a bigger house, and then you'd get comfortable with the bigger house, and then you'd want an even bigger house, right? So you're going to, you find a house you're going to want to live in, find a house that's in alignment with your frequency that makes you feel good, that supports your purpose and the energy that you want to be in so that you could create from your soul, from your life's purpose. And that's where you're going to end up. So it's kind of an interesting thing that happens, and like I said, I'm going through it right now. So I wanted to share that with you guys and let you know from an energetic perspective why that happens. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to leave a comment below. Love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again, guys.